Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hayley Adlam, and I'm both Business Development Manager and Offshore Hydrographic Surveyor at Coraltech Survey. One of our core values is to propel innovation through diversity within the offshore renewables sector. So with that philosophy in mind, I'm going to take some time today to discuss this complex subject, focusing specifically on women within the offshore community, our findings through research behind workplace diversity, and some of the methods we plan on implementing, including our in-house career development programme, See Me, community outreach projects, and methods applied in increasing retention of women working offshore. There are many economic studies which have found that increased workplace diversity leads to greater innovative capacity, propelled by a broader set of skills and experience within the team. This theorem was also supported by the Harvard Business Review through their research, which found that teams solve problems faster when they are more cognitively diverse. So with regards to diversity, it is important to measure a range of criterion as opposed to solely utilising the parameters of gender, age and ethnicity. Based on this, it can be theorised that a more diverse workforce is likely to propel innovation and undertake faster problem resolution, leading to greater business success, growth, and ultimately profit. So it's logical that companies would want to develop a stronger foothold in their industry, led by a forward-thinking heterogeneity of employees. This diversity operates as a catalyst for providing a fresh approach to the unique demands of the offshore industry, that a broad spectrum of backgrounds and experiences, of which diversity as a whole, not just relating to gender, can help address and overcome successfully. Additionally, it should be noted that it has been found that a greater diversity within the workforce is positively correlated with a happier working environment. But despite this fact, women in the offshore industry are still few and far between, and the industry remains predominantly a homogeneous working environment. This is further enhanced through research which has shown that there are still many implicit biases within the offshore industry, which can make even the most well-intended recruiters less likely to employ women. Couple this, along with problems such as finding suitably qualified women to fill these operational roles, can in fact make the formulation of a gender-equal workforce in the offshore world quite tricky to establish. As documented throughout the media, we can see that women are breaking the moulds of traditional gender-specific stereotypes, pursuing careers within science, technology, engineering and mathematics, herein referred to as STEM. The women of today are taking solid footholds in traditionally male-dominated industries all over the world as CEOs of financial corporations, astronauts, engineers, and as some of the planet's most influential world leaders. Yet the offshore industry is an anomaly in the STEM sector, with a pitiful number of female employees actually working actively in the field. This is reflected by the figures published within the Workforce Report by Oil and Gas UK, which interestingly found that a mere 3.6% of offshore workers operating on the UK continental shelf in 2019 were in fact women. This had declined marginally from 3.8% in 2012. It's thought that only 1.1% of those women actually work in an operational role, with the remaining 2.5% employed in HSE or non-operational roles offshore. The numbers of women operating at sea within the offshore renewable sector are considerably higher at 16%, with targets for 2030 reaching 33%. However, these figures are still low in comparison to our male counterparts. But I'm really happy to say that these figures have actually vastly improved over the last 30 years, as a study in 1988 found that women represented a shockingly meagre 0.1 to 0.5% of the offshore workforce in Britain. Despite a slow amount of growth in the percentage of women offshore, positive evolution regarding female representation within the sector is evident within the industry, and many companies are now finding ways to support longevity of female careers irrespective of changes in circumstance, such as having a family. Circumstantial adaptation should be at the forefront of the implementation and development of workforce diversity strategies within the offshore sector to negate loss of knowledge and experience whilst increasing long-term job satisfaction and job security. It's important to understand that growth and comfort do not coexist, as quoted from Ginny Rometty, CEO of IBM, and the offshore industry is no exception to this. So with that in mind, we really must continue to persevere to increase gender diversity offshore. Women have not been found to be innately different types of leaders or employees, although it has been found that women do have different perspectives, socialisation and experiences. Yet the competitive edge of a company within the marketplace can almost be completely defined by the workforce employed. And research has shown that gender diverse companies actually outperform competitors on average by 15%. From this, the question we must ask ourselves is, what can we do to encourage women to take the leap into this competitive industry? How can we captivate the interest of young females from an early age? And how can we help to increase longevity of female offshore careers, enabling women to successfully execute both a career and family life? I strongly believe we can continue to implement these changes in the culture of the offshore community, although this, of course, will take considerable time. Taking this philosophy pertaining to innovation and diversity into the wider community is something very important at Coraltech, and we've undertaken this through community engagement with the aim of inspiring young women to seek careers within the offshore sector. In order to achieve this, we've implemented a multi-dimensional 3-tier grassroots approach. The first stage of this approach actually starts with our own company culture, equal opportunities employment and career development programme. New employees of all genders and backgrounds engage within our in-house career development programme called See Me, which has 2 main channels of focus. The first channel pertains to the development of skills, knowledge and experience, which in turn builds confidence. And increased confidence in conjunction with a solid foundation of knowledge within the job role, coupled with increasing experience levels, has actually found to be an important factor in employee retention and job satisfaction. So developing these areas can actually help negate the potential for lost knowledge through career redirection. The second channel of the See Me programme is the allocation of a new female employee or graduate to an experienced offshore female within Coraltech to provide a sisterhood-style support scheme during offshore projects, which may not be fully fulfilled by the team operating on board. More often than not, many female-specific needs are not accommodated for on offshore projects, such as female-to-female emotional support due to a lack of other women on board. Adjustment to the offshore working environment, particularly during initial deployments, as well as the accommodation of needs such as those surrounding menstruation whilst on board a ship or installation, for example. This scheme aims to make working within the offshore industry an enjoyable experience for all. The second tier is via our collaboration with the Offshore Marine Academy based in Bristol through the compilation of their Introduction to Survey course, which goes live later this month. Courses such as this one allow for students outside of Coraltech Survey within the wider community to enhance their knowledge, enabling the progression into a career offshore or perhaps enhancing their current skill set. We've also been engaging with different universities, colleges and schools in order to further extend our knowledge and experience to people who may be interested in undertaking a career offshore and educating those who might not even be aware that this is such a viable career option for them. The third and widest reaching tier geographically is through the utilisation of female-based offshore platforms such as Organisation Women Offshore to expand our support network of our female Coraltech community. This platform has also helped to raise awareness of challenges faced by other women within the industry and can therefore help us as a company to mitigate for those challenges and allow for a safer environment specifically for our female employees and freelancers whilst working offshore. So this helps to ensure that each individual can actually evolve and reach their full potential. It's our job as the small percentile of women working within this unique industrial environment to be role models to younger generations, to inspire, to initiate change, and to empower each and every young woman. Through online platforms and community engagement, achieving this goal is becoming more and more viable. However, I feel that more needs to be done, and female offshore industry professionals have the ability to captivate an entire generation of inspiring young women through actively increasing awareness of this industry and what such a career and life choice could hold in store for them. Educational visits have the power to sow the seeds within the minds of future generations. Currently, it's likely that very few school-age females will tell you that they aspire to build offshore wind farms or work on oil rigs. But why shouldn't they think that way? The offshore industry, as I'm sure you'll all agree, is an exciting one with many opportunities to travel across the world, meet new people, and embrace an ever-changing working environment. Many young women probably do not even know or acknowledge that such a career path could even exist for them. We have the power to change that. I believe that knowledge is key, and with that knowledge, the women of the future can aspire to an occupation within a STEM industry, or maybe even work side by side with us in an offshore renewable energy project. Thank you so much for your time today, and enjoy the rest of the conference.